Well, thank you, everyone. Get started. We appreciate everybody coming out today. This is really mind blowing to me. The support and seeing this bench and you know how amazing just even the view and stuff. He would obviously he would love this and we first of all obviously want to thank everybody for coming out. The support of the city and has been tremendous, and it's just warms our heart knowing that this many people are out here supporting and just how many people loved them, and we want to thank obviously the Lamberdecchios for really and Scott Lanes also for really pushing for the bench, and then Mayor Regal for also for approving it. We want to give a big thanks to you guys, and just again, just you have no idea what this means to us and our family, and how this is just obviously the impact of what's been going on. I mean, this eases everything, and it through this all, I mean, it has been one of the hardest things that we've ever done, and one of the worst things that in my life. But there are things that have been great out of it, which I don't want to overlook either. We've really, within all this, we've really found ourselves, and we found it really through faith. And people always ask, and I don't tell the story very often. Don't want to right now. But they ask, the main question that I get asked is, how are you standing here right now? And it really turned for me when you ask these kids, when everything first happened, you ask them, because they're so strong and they're so resilient, more than we are. And you ask them, what do you think? What do you think Anthony is? And without missing a beat, he's in heaven. Yeah. And that's how I'm standing here today. And that's by the grace of God. And the love of God. And knowing that that's where he is, and that's where I want to be. And we do by the grace of God. And I don't want that to be overshadowed. I mean, it is a tragic incident, but if I can get one thing out to everybody is there is a God that loves you. There is a God that believes in all of us. And I know there's people out here who struggle with that. And I want you guys to know that that is how I am standing here today. And there's no other reason. Again, thank you guys. We really, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
I also want to thank everyone here. This has, like my husband said, it was a tragedy, and by the grace of God, I'm standing here and I'm able to talk about this. And I want us to remember him in a happy way. For me, grief turned really quickly into anger with God, anger with why. But out of tragedy, out of things that we all will go through, because this is life, this is the life we go through, we have two things to choose. We either choose hate, anger, or we choose love. Hate and anger is too heavy to carry. So I invite you all to be like Anthony, because he was love. He just came out, his whole body was just love. That's why so many loved him. And I choose love. And love means loving everyone, being happy, remembering the happy moments we had with him, and just loving everyone. That's just what God is. God is love. So we thank you because you guys have showed that to us, love. Thank you again.
Wow. Well, I just want to say that I'm just I'm sure, just like you guys, blown away by what you just heard. To have watched this play out and rock their world, and to see them at this point being able to stand here and tell us how to live and how to stand. That's not only mind-blowing, that's a miracle. That's why people ask, how are you standing? That is a miracle. I don't know what you believe or think, but to see the parents of Anthony standing here today, being able to tell you that you just saw a miracle. Maybe that doesn't make sense at this moment, but if you think about it, I'm blown away right now. And I didn't know they were even going to talk. To be able to see them doing that and being an encouragement to us is incredible. And you asked me about saying something, and I'm honored to be standing here right now. I've been honored to know them, to know Anthony, to know their family, Angie, the whole family, and to see them doing this has been amazing. It's a challenge to every one of us, every person in our church, my family, to see them going on and wanting to choose love, like she said. And, we would give anything to have him back here right now. And like Adam said, it's really about a time of separation. It's just between now and when we see him again. And, as we dedicate this bench to his memory, those of us here that knew him, it's not that we need a bench to remember him, because how could you forget him? We just talked the whole way driving over here about him, and Adam's saying they used to play football right here, and my wife was like, yeah, every Sunday school lesson he would connect it to football somehow, and eventually she's like, not everything in life is about football, but my kids remembering the first time that we went over their house and they decided to play hide and go seek, and they tried to hide like on top of the washing machine, I guess, which doesn't seem like a great place to hide. And I guess Anthony got out, but my daughter got stuck, and they were in a hurry and trying to get her off the washing machine, and they couldn't. And so they just started laughing and laughing and laughing till they all peed their pants, which is an interesting way to get to know someone, I think. But you can't forget that kind of thing. You can't forget that life, and you never forget that loss. And, we're only coming to these points where some people are able to start talking about it. And my own daughter sharing something about how you really don't know the value of someone in a life until you lose them. And it's just the reality of life. You love someone so much that you experience it the most, more. You have to have that other experience of what it's like when they're not there. So this isn't so much about trying to remember him, because we won't forget him, but it's interesting. We're seeing it right now. Something I thought of with this is like what Jesus said, and you can see it right now. Jesus said that everyone who's born of the Spirit, he said, you can't see. It's like wind in the trees, right? Which we're getting to see right now. You can't see the wind, but you see the effects of the wind. And Jesus said that's like everybody that is born of the Spirit, has God's Spirit in them. You can't see God, but you see the effects. And that's like Anthony. We can't see him right now, but you're seeing people affected by him. And my life is never going to be the same. My dad lives in Oregon. When I call him, I talk to him. I talk to him differently because of this. The way I am with my kids is different because of this. And so I can't see Anthony, but I see the effects of him in my life. And this bench is in some way just a symbol of that. A symbol of the unseen effect that he's had on each one of our lives. And, I was just thinking there's something about a bench that's so thoughtful. This isn't something that is in front of one of our houses just for us to go sit and have coffee, and something we're doing for ourselves. This bench being here is for people we don't even know. Strangers, travelers. You think about who's going to sit here. Think about older folks that going out for a walk, and for them to make it all the way here and back, they need a rest. Think of a young mom with her kids trying to find the formula in the diaper bag and needing a place to sit. Think of kids playing hide and go seek like ours, getting tired and wanting to rest. They sit down and they might not think right away about the people that stood here today, about the men and whoever women that actually put it all together, and those that financed it and made this happen. It was a price paid for by people they didn't know, so that they could rest when they needed to. But I imagine, like anybody, they would turn and look and see the name. Say, who's Anthony? He must have been somebody pretty special. He must have made people want the world to know about him. And even though I don't know him, I appreciate that he was and that he is. And I'm sure I would think, I would say, man, I wonder about my life. Is anybody going to make a bench for me? Is my life going to have that kind of impact on others? Maybe that traveler walks away from here and says, I want to live a life where people want to remember me. And so his fingerprints and his impact goes on day after day. And I just have to say, in connection with what they said and in asking me to speak, is this idea of rest. And Paula talked about grief and how it turns so quickly to anger. And the waves of emotion that come and show up in so many different ways. And one of the ways that can show up is in just exhaustion and just being tired. Just saying, I'm just tired. I'm too tired to do this. And there is not just a place and a bench that we can go to, but there is someone that we can go to. Jesus said, come to me, all you that are weary and heavy laden,